The web we don't see, the internet, a vast interconnected web of information that spans the globe, connecting billions of devices and people. We often think of the internet as a place of endless possibilities, a digital frontier where knowledge and entertainment are just a click away. We see its surface, the social media platforms where we share our lives, the news sites that keep us informed, and the online shops where we purchase goods. But beneath this familiar facade, hidden in encrypted layers, lies the dark web, a realm that remains largely unseen and unknown to the average user. The dark web is a place of anonymity, where identities are masked and activities are shrouded in secrecy. It's a world where whispered rumors and clandestine operations thrive. It attracts those seeking forbidden knowledge, illegal goods, and the darkest desires of humanity. From illicit drug markets to illegal arms deals, the dark web is a marketplace for the forbidden. A breeding ground for cybercrime, it exists in the shadows, a constant reminder of the internet's hidden dangers. Hackers, scammers, and cybercriminals use this hidden network to conduct their nefarious activities. This is where our story begins, in the heart of the digital darkness. We will delve into the depths of this hidden world, exploring its secrets and uncovering the truths that lie beneath the surface. Join us as we navigate the murky waters of the dark web, shedding light on the unseen and the unknown. Lena's world, where bits and bytes dance. Lena, a cybersecurity expert, lived in the digital world. Code was her language, firewalls her fortress. She protected systems, safeguarding them from unseen threats.
The dark web intrigued me, a challenge, a puzzle to solve. I knew its dangers, the potential for harm, yet I was drawn to it, a moth to a flickering flame. Little did I know the darkness was waiting.
Whispers in the dark. The Red Room beckons. Late one night, while scouring encrypted forums, Lena found it. The Red Room, a name whispered in hushed tones, a digital myth. Legend said it hosted live torture, streamed for a select few. Most dismissed it as an urban legend.
Fueled by curiosity, I dug deeper. I followed digital breadcrumbs, each click leading me further into the abyss. The closer I got, the more I felt an unsettling presence. But I couldn't stop, not now.
A descent into depravity. The veil lifts. Finally, she found it. A hidden link accessible only through a series of encrypted tunnels. Her heart pounded as she clicked. She had been searching for weeks, diving deeper into the dark web, following cryptic clues and whispers in hidden forums. Each step brought her closer to this moment, a mix of dread and determination driving her forward. The screen flickered, then resolved into a live feed. A dimly lit room, a lone figure tied to a chair. The air seemed to thicken with tension as she leaned closer to the screen, her breath shallow. The figure's head hung low, shadows obscuring their face, but the unmistakable signs of distress were evident. She could almost feel the cold, oppressive atmosphere of the room through the screen.
Terror filled my eyes. This was no myth. This was real. The stories I had heard, the rumors that circulated in the darkest corners of the internet, they were all true. My pulse quickened, a mix of fear and adrenaline surging through me. I had to remind myself to breathe, to stay focused. This was my chance to uncover the truth, to expose the horrors hidden in the shadows.
Muffled sounds of distress. The figure on the screen began to stir, their movements slow and labored. Muffled cries of distress reached my ears, sending chills down my spine. It was a haunting sound, one that would stay with me long after this moment had passed. I could see the fear in their eyes, a silent plea for help that cut through the digital barrier.
The chat beside the video flickered with messages, a chorus of depraved demands, a wave of nausea washing over her. She had to do something. The messages were vile, each one more disturbing than the last. She felt a deep sense of revulsion, but also a burning resolve. This was her chance to make a difference, to bring light to the darkness. She quickly took screenshots, documenting everything. Her mind raced with plans, thinking of ways to alert the authorities, to find help for the person on the screen. She knew it wouldn't be easy, but she was determined. The veil had lifted, and there was no turning back now. The hunt for the source, a digital shadow chase. Lena, as Lena, I made it my mission to shut down the Red Room. She spent every waking moment tracing the source of the broadcast, a digital ghost hunt. Days turned into sleepless nights. Her apartment, once a sanctuary, became a war room. Lena, as Lena. The deeper I went, the more I realized the vastness of the operation. It was sophisticated, funded, and utterly ruthless, but I was relentless. I wouldn't let them win. The hunter becomes the hunted. A chilling realization. Lena had always been the one in control, the one who pursued the shadows lurking in the digital abyss. But tonight, the tables had turned. One evening, while chasing a lead, Lena noticed something strange. She had been following a trail of breadcrumbs left by a notorious hacker. Her eyes glued to the screen, her fingers dancing over the keyboard. Her cursor was moving on its own. At first she thought it was a glitch, a minor technical hiccup. But then it became clear that this was no ordinary malfunction. Files opened and closed at random. Her blood ran cold. It was as if an invisible hand was rifling through her digital life, exposing her secrets, her vulnerabilities. Lena, as Lena, I was being watched. The realization hit her like a ton of bricks. She had always been cautious, always one step ahead, but now she was the prey. Someone or something had infiltrated my system. The thought was terrifying. Who could it be? What did they want? Her mind raced with possibilities, each more frightening than the last. Panic welled up inside her. She had to act fast, but her hands were trembling, her heart pounding in her chest. She felt a cold sweat break out on her forehead. Her safe haven was compromised. The place where she felt most secure, most in control, was now a battleground. She was no longer safe, no longer in control. They were inside her world now. The intruder had breached her defenses, penetrated her sanctuary. She was exposed, vulnerable. A message flashed on her screen, chilling her to the bone. It was a taunt, a warning, a declaration of war. She read the words, her heart sinking. Lena, as Lena, you should have stayed away. The game had changed. She was no longer the hunter, but the hunted. The rules were different now, and she had to adapt or perish. I was no longer just an observer. She had been drawn into the game, a reluctant participant in a deadly dance. The stakes were higher than ever and the outcome uncertain. But one thing was clear, she could not back down. She had to fight to reclaim her world, to turn the tables once more. Trapped in the web escape from a digital nightmare.
My world shrank to the confines of my apartment. Fear gnawed at me. Every keystroke, every click felt like they were closing in. I tried to fight back, to fortify my defenses, but they were always one step ahead.
She had to escape, to disappear. In the dead of night, she erased her digital footprint. She wiped her hard drives, destroyed her phone. Then she vanished, leaving behind the only world she had ever known. The price of curiosity, scars that never fade.
I became a ghost, drifting from town to town. I never stayed in one place for long, the fear of being found a constant shadow. The digital world, once my playground, was now a source of terror.
She carried the weight of what she had seen, the horrors of the Red Room forever etched into her mind. The curiosity that had once driven her was replaced by a profound sense of loss. The dark web had taken its toll. The unseen enemy, a warning from the shadows. Lena's story is a cautionary tale. The dark web, for all its allure, is a dangerous place, a breeding ground for the worst of humanity. It's a place where the lines between reality and the virtual world blur. We may think we are safe behind our screens, but the truth is the digital world is as real as the one we live in, and sometimes the threats we can't see are the most dangerous of all. The dark web. Tread carefully or not at all. The internet, for all its wonders, has a dark side. The Red Room, whether real or legend, serves as a chilling reminder of the unseen evils that lurk in the digital shadows. It's a place where curiosity can have devastating consequences. So the next time you're online, remember Lena's story. Be careful where you click, what you seek, and who you trust. The dark web is always watching, waiting for the unsuspecting to stumble into its grasp.